Hello guys and welcome back to Custom Gamer. My name is Daz and this is the show where we talk about level design while playing cool maps. Today we're looking at a Quake map by Warren Marshall called The Hell That's Coming. This map was released on the 14th of December 2014 and it's a smaller map. It's very compact, feels very much in the classic id style. And it reminds me a lot of the original Unreal in a way, the Nally castles if you remember back in that game. Got a very nostalgic vibe here for that as well. It's very nice aesthetics, great lighting, very gloomy and mysterious. These kind of towering castle spires above you. It's very cool. There's some gameplay changes as well. For instance, ogres will now aim their grenades up or down to hit you no matter where you are, which takes some getting used to. You get absolutely pounded at the beginning because you kind of go in not knowing that. There's a new Shambler enemy as well, which seems a little bit buggy, but you know, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Hope you enjoy the video, guys. Let's go and have a look at the map. So the name Warren Marshall might be familiar to some of you if you've been following the Unreal Engine 4 development videos. He does work at Epic. I couldn't tell you what game he's working on currently. I'm guessing it's either Unreal Tournament or Fortnite. But I know he's been on a couple of the Unreal Engine live streams talking about how to do certain things. So if that's been niggling at you, then that's probably where you know the name from. He's also a devoted Quake fan. He's been following the scene for a long time. This map is really cool. One thing that stands out instantly is this giant skull kind of face marked into the rock here. I believe he developed a tool which can take a mesh from, I think it's either 3D Studio Max or Blender or Maya, whatever he uses, I forget, and he can turn it into Quake brushes and then import it into, I think it's Trench Broom he uses to map. That's how he created that face structure on the front there. It's very cool. I'm going to find out if the tool is available to the public and I'll put a link in the description below the video if it is, because that's a really cool tool to use. Now the map has some really kind of contrasting lighting. It's quite a dark map, especially as you're seeing in this area here, but the actual attention to detail with the lighting is actually very nice. You've got this kind of moonlit pass, moonlight flooding in through some skylights out here in the rock. And then you've got these brilliant torch lights as well, which really feel bright and warm compared to like these dull kind of blue moonlight. It's a very contrasting look. It looks great. I think perhaps some areas are a little bit too dark. I had some trouble seeing while playing the level. I did brighten up this video a little bit, so it should be okay to watch. But yeah, some areas did feel very dark. As you can see here, like this is probably one of them. It's just, there's no light here at all. Maybe a torch on the wall would have fixed this, but yeah, it's only really a problem at the start here. The rest of the map seems to be fine. So these castle areas, again, I mentioned it in the intro, they remind me a lot of the original Unreal. It's got that same kind of palette and almost the same kind of architectural style as well. You can imagine something like this very easily being in Unreal, one of their Nally castle environments. It also reminds me a lot of Sock's work actually. It's got a very kind of Sock medieval feeling to it. Find a red armor secret here. You can spot this secret through the window there, but you just need to work out how to get to it, which I like. It's a great way to do secrets. Got to hit these two buttons here to open up the door to the lift, which of course we need to fight more enemies here. Now I mentioned that the ogres are now Z aware, which basically means that in the original Quake, ogres would just fire grenades straight in front of them no matter where the player was, so they wouldn't aim up or down. Whereas Warren has fixed that here, or quote unquote fixed, so that they'll actually aim up and down at you, and you know, it really gets you off guard, especially if you play Quake as much as I do, where ogres behave in a certain way that you're very used to. And so them suddenly aiming grenades up and down really throws you for a loop for a couple of minutes. You have to completely reevaluate how you engage with ogres. I mean, it's one of those things that some people love and some people hate. I think CZG did it really well in his Honey series of maps where ogres that can aim up and down have a special icon above their heads that you can see from miles away. Just to let players know this ogre is different. I think Warren perhaps could have done something like that here, perhaps a different ogre skin, or you know, just some kind of visual to show that these ogres are better than the generic default ogres. There's also a new Shambler, which I mentioned in the intro. It's got a lot more health, it glows in the dark, and it explodes when it dies. There seems to be some AI issues with it, however, where the final Shambler that you fight before exiting the map just seems to stand in place and not attack, which is a shame. Let's get back to current events. So we've got a nice little arena fight here. Enemies slowly spawn into the arena. There's lots of room to move around, lots of side areas, which I'm guessing the enemies spawn from for the most part. I think this arena is perhaps a little bit too easy. I mean, I'm playing this map on hard and it didn't really give me any problems whatsoever. I'm not sure if I'm the best person to ask about difficulty in Quake maps though, because I've been playing it since 1996. Perhaps if you just picked up Quake to play a few custom maps, the difficulty here might be just right, but for a Quake veteran such as myself, it perhaps needs a little bit more. The arena itself though is quite nice. Some enemies can tend to get stuck in these little side areas, which is a shame. That's just Quake's wonderful AI at work. Perhaps it might have been more interesting to have the enemies spawn up above and jump down off of platforms, just to keep them all in the central area and give the player less areas to run and hide in. It's very easy to just kind of line of sight all the enemies inside these small rooms here. I much prefer arena designs that force you to keep moving around, that you can't just abuse a corner in a room somewhere, you know. Not to say this is bad, it's just got a few issues which I personally don't like. I'm sure other players might actually love this. So here's the new Shambler. Now, I'm not sure if that explosion can kill you when he dies, but it wouldn't surprise me. And again here you can see what I'm talking about with like the Nally architecture influence. Yeah, definitely gonna have to play through Unreal again at some point. That was such a great game. Just loved exploring all those ancient temples and environments and stuff. It was great. Something Unreal 2 didn't do nearly as well, unfortunately. Now the map shifts gear again. Got like a little bit of exploration and survival underwater. I think this underwater bit is actually done pretty well. A lot of underwater sections in maps can be really annoying because you're kind of panicking, like you don't want to suffocate, you don't want to die. Warren kind of leads the player around fairly successfully here, I think. You can kind of follow the air bubbles in the water. And you know if you've kind of gone back on yourself because there's dead fish everywhere. There is a secret under here, and I've killed myself plenty of times by picking up this lightning gun and then trying to kill a fish and just zapping myself because I'm in the water. But honestly, even with all these handholds which Warren is using to get the player to go in the right direction, it's still kind of 50-50 whether I actually find my way out first time or not. I played this map 4 or 5 times before recording this video, and it literally was 50-50 whether I'd just get completely lost walking in a loop or whether I'd just find the secret and get to the end straight away. So yeah, I'm not sure what it was that forced me to go wrong, because all the visual language is there to get the player to go the right way. You've got the little air bubbles in the water, you've got the dead fish showing you've already been to that area. But yeah, it's just something kept on making me go in a loop sometimes, and I'm not sure what it was. Once we get out of the catacombs, we'll get back into the castle environment. And this is a nice blend of styles. So at the beginning you had this kind of lava infested tunnel network, and now you've got lava pouring into the castle here as well. You can see the light coming from it from the back there. Again, beautiful lighting from here. It's really, really nicely done. The kind of orangey yellow from the lava and then the blue from the moonlight is really compelling. And again with that kind of subtle blue distance fog as well. The map looks beautiful, I love it. Now we can grab the gold key. Again, we teleported in right in front of the gold key door, so we kind of had an objective. As soon as we teleported into this area, we know we have to find the gold key. We have to fight our way back out with some zombies. I don't know if the zombies are Z aware as well, so whether they aim the pieces of themselves that they throw at you, I don't know. I don't think they do. I probably would have been hurt more if they did. But perhaps this is a little bit anticlimactic for the ending of the map. I almost feel like the arena that we fought in earlier should have been the end, and that this should have come before it, because for a climax of the level, it falls flat a little bit. I mean, we get the Shambler here that we have to fight, but unfortunately he bugs out. Now, Warren may have released an updated version of this map which fixes this. I will check and give you guys the fixed version in the description, if that is the case. But yeah, that Shambler not the best. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like a proper ending. It's not very climactic. But it's a fun map overall. Really beautiful visuals and lighting. It really stands out. Gameplay is fun for the most part. Interesting enemy encounters, but it just feels a little bit easy overall, for me at least. There wasn't much challenge. Alright, so that just about sums that up. Now hopefully this video looked buttery smooth in 1080p 60 FPS mode for YouTube. Quake videos in the past, the swap to 60 FPS had a couple of technical issues, but hopefully that's all fixed now. Do let me know in the comments if it still looks a bit stuttery, but hopefully it should look buttery smooth for you guys now. Fingers crossed. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you next time.